And do these kind of security models, do they change depending on the type of threat? Because obviously a kind of a one hat fits all approach is ineffective in my opinion. So I mean, when you go in and you start developing or working within specific security models, do you based upon your knowledge and your experience, are you applying different levels of priority based upon the type of threat that it is? So for example, ransomware, or as you kind of mentioned, an insider threat. How do you prioritize those threats when you're implementing these cybersecurity models?
Well, I think the methodology everyone is using right now is the risk methodology. It's useful to understand how to use your resources better and try to prioritize what is more important to respond right now. But I think there's two things with the risk models. The first one, it's some kind of communication that the business can understand from this technical issue. The first thing that I say to all my clients is you need to understand that cybersecurity risk is not a technical risk, it's a business risk, and you need to communicate with the business with this kind of information. But what's the problem with risk? Risk assess something that you know, and something that you don't know, we can't use the risk assessment methodology. We need to include, for example, an uncertainty model to understand something that you never know, you never have metric or there have some experience with this kind of threats, and we need to try to evolve your decision methodology in cybersecurity to include uncertainty and risk in one model.
Right, yeah, of course, it makes a lot of sense. So we kind of touched on Gartner and Forrester being the kind of advisories, as it were, and they are kind of defining new models, new models of or new cybersecurity models, should we say, as security adapted and zero trust. Do you think that these should be considered and of course be implemented in every organization? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for example, zero trust, it's an interesting approach. Why? The first thing I understand from zero trust is it's not possible to implement. Why? Because the people are trust behavior. We are social. We need to trust in everyone to try to reach your objectives. And a business need trust and need to trust your third parties, your partners, your clients. And there's something that philosophic, it's not working with this kind of model. What's behind the zero trust? It's try to review everything. Do not trust in the connections, in who is the beginner of the communication, but that's different. That's what we always say. Try to review all the connections. The firewalls always says only permit what you want to permit, and everything else you need to deny. That's the same thing we talked about 30 years ago, and it's the same in the access control, is the same in cryptology, and there's no new with this kind of models. It's right to define, hey, you need to start with this amount of control. It's really important. And I think the big corporations that are trying to moving to the cloud, that it's in the journey to cloud, are using this methodology or this cybersecurity model to go to the cloud. The new companies, the SaaS companies, the zero trust is included with the control tower or all the models that AWS and Azure are included in the architecture of the solutions in the cloud. And for example, the security adaptive that is from Gartner says everything in your security architecture needs to talk, and everything is need to improve the security posture, trying to talk in with another solution and try to provide in some intelligence. This is a kind of mesh, and I think Gartner is right now talking more about the cybersecurity mesh. And there's two things that they're trying to propose. The first one is trying to reduce the amount of solutions you need to provide in your security architecture. And the second one is the intelligence. I think the intelligence and the automation is the two things that are changing the cybersecurity operation in the organizations.
I mean, yeah, I completely understand what you mean when you talk about, not trusting is not very human, is it? I think what we allude to as well, especially with the people that we talk to every day, is kind of trust but verify. So this, I guess the term's interchangeable with the kind of principle of least privilege. So you need to kind of really look at what you've got going on, what people are doing and what they've got access to. And we're not saying that, that our employees within these organizations cannot be trusted. I think it's more a case of, we are human, we do make mistakes. If someone accidentally sends an email, they might not be doing it, say, maliciously, but there may be a potential incident that could lead, say, to a kind of a threat or even a kind of a data breach as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but to implement, you are going to provide all the trust in just one thing, that it's the policy manager. This is the thing that is going to provide access to the person or the identity, and to provide what we want to provide access. And I don't know, the thing is, it's a good idea, the less privilege. It's a principle of cybersecurity, and try to review everything. It's a principle, but right now they changed the name and try to give the market a new kind of solution that maybe include 2 or 3 things with the new technology, but there's no different from the original models that we have.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a marketing exercise more than anything.
Yes, it's more marketing.